bring in Congressman Mike Gallagher, chairman of the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party. What would the bill do, and how did you get a 50-0 result?
Well, it would force a separation. The core concern is the ownership structure. As long as TikTok is owned by ByteDance, and ByteDance is indisputably beholden to the Chinese Communist Party, the risk is that our foremost adversary controls the news in America, because most Americans under the age of 30 aren't just using this to promote weird dance videos. It's to get their news. So it would compel a divestiture. Think of it as a surgery designed to remove the tumor from the patient and thereby save it. So to all those small businesses who are concerned, they can continue to use the platform as long as we separate the platform from Chinese Communist Party control. And to what you said earlier, Shannon, I mean, TikTok sort of proved our point yesterday. We had kids. It was compelling kids to call members of Congress, in some cases threatening suicide. I had a colleague who's had a caller call in pretending to be his son. I mean, that's just for this bill. Imagine what they could do as we get closer to the election or on a more weighty issue like whether or not to vote to authorize going to war or something like that.
Well, why is this going to be different? Because we've had conversations for years. I've had Senator Warner sit here. I mean, Democrats and Republicans alike say we're going to get rid of TikTok or we're going to get rid of the Chinese influence connection with it. Why is this different?
We've learned from past efforts that have failed to do this. We've spent 8 months working together. It's a bipartisan effort. My ranking member, Raja Krishnamurthy, and the lead Democratic co-sponsor has been phenomenal to work with, saluting Kathy Morris-Rogers and Frank Pallone, who worked together. So we have a really strong bipartisan core. And then I will say the White House has worked with us to provide technical assistance, feedback, and we feel very confident that this bill would survive any legal challenge. Trump's efforts fell, victim to a legal buzzsaw. And so we've learned from that experience, and that's why I think we were successful in committee yesterday, and we hope to be successful on the House floor next week.
But Congressman, what does the White House, run by President Biden, know that the Biden presidential campaign does not know? Because the campaign is very much on TikTok and wants to figure out a way to target those young voters.
Exactly. I think it's fair to say there's a divide. Every single Biden national security official, from the director of national intelligence to the CIA director to the NSA director, has warned, to the FBI director, most recently in front of my committee, has warned that TikTok, under its present ownership structure, is a clear and present danger to national security. The campaign has a different view, and so I can't control the Biden campaign, but I can try and pass a bill into law. And luckily, the president's, at least Kareem Jean-Pierre, signaled that the president would sign the bill. So let's do that. Let's get it done, and then the campaign won't be allowed to use it going forward. Unless they separate from ByteDance's ownership, and then both campaigns can use it.
Right. And right now, it is banned from federal devices, correct?
Yes.
I mean, members of Congress, or staffers, if it's a phone, and a number of states are trying this as well. I mean, Montana, and I think of others that are trying to do something that is more akin to a ban or an age limit. But how much is this about parental involvement and their awareness of what you're alleging is actually going on with TikTok and the CCP?
For me, it's primarily about foreign adversary control of a social media app. And if we solve that problem, we will then have to confront a second and more difficult problem, which is that the corrosive impact of all social media on kids. As a parent, that's a problem I'd like to solve before my daughters are older. They're 3 and 1 right now, but that's a whole separate thing. This bill is squarely focused on foreign adversary control, China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran, of a social media app that this influential. And then we can have a big old bruising debate about the other issue and its correlation with anxiety, suicide, depression, and things like that.
So it's on the House floor next week, and then how quickly could this get to the president's desk?
I mean, no one has ever accused the Senate of moving quickly, but I have had a lot of interest from senators. Certainly, you mentioned Senator Warner. He sees the threat clearly. Senator Haggerty, others want to take action. I can't handicap that. I'm a member of the People's House, not the House of Lords. But I hope that they'll take it up and move quickly, and I've had a lot of productive conversations with my Senate colleagues.
Congratulations, 50-0. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Bipartisan is exceedingly rare. And by the way, I would say your 3 and 1-year-olds are probably better at social media and screens than I am at this point. We look to them for guidance on this, but thank you very much for stopping in.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.